Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Jessica, and if it's your first time here, thank you for joining this family. Please do also subscribe, and if you end up liking my video, don't forget to like and share my videos, as this helps you to recommend my videos to other people as well. So in today's video, I'll be showing you all how to make a vintage shirt, like a real vintage shirt with the notch collar and everything. So basically what I'm doing right now is drafting out the basic bodies of a shirt, which I have a detailed video of that. I'll put the link in the description box because I'm really trying hard not to make this video long, so do well to check that video. But for the sake of my beginners, I'm just showing you what it looks like to draft out the basic bodies of a shirt. So at the armhole, I made a mistake. I didn't take the 1 inch for the shoulder slant. So when I did it, I had to adjust the armhole line that I did, and that is what I am effecting. So I will go ahead and curve this with my curve ruler, just as you can see, and then I will clean up the line that I already made a mistake. I'll use my red marker and start that out because I will be making use of that line. So yes. So the next thing I did is to carve out my armhole. Actually, I'm drafting out the back piece. Take note, guys, this is the back piece of the dress. I'll use the back piece to cut out the front. So this is the back piece. No zipper allowance is needed, nothing, and it's a free shirt. So guys, my client's measurement is 35 inches for her bust, but then she wanted this to be very free, so I'm using 40 inches for this shirt for her. So I divided my measurements by 4, and then I marked it on the pattern paper, adding ½ inch sewing allowance. Please do well to add your allowance. And then yeah, I'll cut this out and then we'll move over to the front piece. So for the front piece, guys, I will place my back piece on the front piece, as you can see in the video. Place it on this, leaving at least 5 or 6 allowance in the front. That's the center front. You leave some allowance because the front piece is going to be different. We'll be adding button band, and then we'll still add up the notch collar and everything. So yeah, I'm going to mark out my front armhole like I explained when in the detailed video on how to draft out your basic bodies. Your front armhole is different from your back armhole, and that is because we take out ½ inch from the front armhole so that it isn't bulky at the front. Yeah, so I'll indicate that as front and back, and then I'll go ahead and trace out the bodies on the pattern paper. So guys, I'm going to mark 3 inches for both my button band and the notch collar. So go ahead and mark this on your pattern paper. Mark this as seen on your pattern paper. So I'm going to keep this aside, and yeah, I'll still come back to it. I'm going to mark the basic bodies because I'll need it as a guide to work on the button band and every other thing. So I marked from my shoulder to bust point and from my shoulder to waist because that is all we need, and the full length of the shirt. So just like I said, I'll bring back the back piece and I'll use it as a template to get my center front. So you can see me tracing the line, and then I'll keep that aside. So don't forget, that line I just drew out is for the center front. The 3 inches that I added is for my button band and as well as the lapel, which is for the collar. So from the neck point, I'm going to mark out my neck. I'll mark 3 inches for my neck depth and mark 3 inches for the neck width, which this is regular measurement. This is more like universal measurements. So I'll connect the 3 inches at the neck width to the 3 inches at the neck depth together, and then I'll extend the line from the 3 inches at the neck depth to the point where I marked for my lapel, which is 3 inches. You can make yours 4 inches, whichever one, but make sure it's not too big. 3 inches is just perfect. You see the fit looks perfect. So from that point again, I'm going to connect these two. I'm going to mark 3 inches below. You can go ahead and mark 4 or 5 inches depending on how you want your lapel to be. And then I'll come out by 1.5 inch. So I'll connect the 1.5 inch in a slanted form to meet the 3 inches that was extended from the neck depth. And then I'll bring down 1.5 inch straight downwards, and that will be for my button band. So now that we are done marking out the lapel and the button band, the next thing we'll work on is the collar. So don't forget, we use 3 inches for the neck width of the back, and we are going to mark the 3 inches from the shoulder in order to get our collar. We are going to replace that 3 inches. So when you are cutting this on your fabric, you add the ½ inch for the allowance. So, or you can go ahead and just mark 4 inches, but me, I like to mark the 3 inches and I'll cut with allowance on my paper. So from the point where my lapel was extended, I'll go in by 1 inch. Please take note, guys. I'll go in by 1 inch, and then I'll go up by 1 inch, making sure I have like 1 inch space. I'll mark that and connect those lines together. That is for the notch collar. I'm going to cut the collar separately, but this pattern paper helps me to get out the collar very well. So guys, I'm going to extend from the 3 inches. I'm going to mark 4 inches as the collar width. And then I'll connect from that point to the notched part of the collar with a straight line. Yeah, I'll close up that part like this. And just in case you have any questions concerning the notch, if you need a detailed video on it again, let me know. But this is how I draft out my notch, and it works perfectly. So the 3 inches I added from the shoulder points was the 3 inches that I normally add for the back collar. So by the time I cut this unfold, it will be in 6 inches, and by the time I cut my back piece unfold, I will have 6 inches for the back neck width. So guys, I am done. I'll go ahead and cut out everything else. Don't forget to cut out your collar separately from the shirt itself. So let's go over to the sewing part, guys. So I placed the front piece on my table, and then I'm going to place the back piece on it in order to join the shoulder and the sides together. Trust me, the sewing part of this is the easiest. But once you understand how the patterns are being made or how to cut it, you are good to go. So I'm going to join the shoulder as shown, and as well as the sides, and yeah, I'll come back and show you what next to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach the collar to the shirt itself. Don't forget, we cut the collar in two. One is going to serve as a lining and the other one is going to serve as a main face. So I'm going to attach one of the collar to this, and I'm going to stop where the notch point was marked. Don't forget how we did the notch point. So we're going to stop at the notched point. So over to the interface, I'm going to attach the collar to the interface. Just watch closely and you understand. Attaching my interface to this collar, which is going to serve as a lining, is a lot different from attaching the main dress to the fabric. That is because I didn't cut an interface for the back piece. If I had cut an interface, it would have been a lot easier. So this is how you attach it, guys. So if you notice the way I attached it, you can already see the notch collar forming at the end. You can notice the notch collar. So make sure what you have remaining outside that point is the same with what you have with your main shirt. And then we'll go ahead and sew, and we'll be back. I thought I'd show you what this would look like if it was folded. So you can see the reason why it looks like that is because we did not cut an interface for the back piece, and it is actually more neater when you don't cut an interface for the back piece. And that is why I'm doing this method. So do well to do what you're seeing in this video exactly, and it will work well for you. So sorry that my light keeps going on and off. My battery was low and I was really past my upload time. I couldn't wait for NEPA to bring the light, so I was just fluctuating with the light. So this makes a lot of sense now. You can go ahead and mark the point where the lapel was notched to the notch collar on the main dress. You can go ahead and mark it on the interface, so we have an equal work. So guys, now that I'm done with the interface, I'm going to attach it to the main dress, making sure that their right face touching the right face. Yeah, so I'm going to place the collar on each other and sew up even down to the notched point. I'll show you on my sewing machine how I attach this together, and that is everything for this shirt. So once I'm done doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my sleeves and attach that. So guys, I brought this to my sewing machine, and you can see I used a pin to hold the notched point together so that they are sitting equally on the same place. Please do also hold this down with a pin. So I'm just going to sew down straight, and yeah, like that. And that will be everything for this. And I'll sew up the collar at the top part, and then I'll close up the collar at the inside. So guys, now that I want to close up the collar at the inside, I use the pins to hold the top part of the collar together so it doesn't move while I'm folding this. So I'm going to cover the rough edges of the collar inside. Don't forget, we didn't cut out an interface for the back, so we'll have to close up the rough edges at the back. And this is what it looks like. This is so clean, this is so nice. And yeah, we are good to go, guys. This is everything for the vintage shirts with the notch collar. I brought it to my table to show you all what it looks like. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my sleeves and attach this off camera. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and if you learned something new, let me know in the comment section. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, as well as subscribing to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So yeah, let me show you what the aftermath looks like, and bye, see you in our next video.